So yes, I went to Moab, Utah, and this is what I did. I had no choice because if you were there in person, looking at that, you just see a wall. Hey everybody, I'm JONDZ Adventuring, and I am on the Borderline Explorer Show. This is Alan Tong and Hisanari Zempo. So you might be here linked from my YouTube video where I nearly rolled in Moab, Utah on the Fins and Things Trail. Yes, that's me. I should have that send it in front of me.
Give me
that.
You deserve to send it.
Yes.
You get to send it.
Okay, here, you could have these plants.
One each.
There you go. You have two each.
Okay.
I'm very happy to be on this show.
Okay.
On the Borderline Explorer Show. So yes, I went to Moab, Utah, and this is what I did. I had no choice because if you were there in person, looking at that, you just see a wall.
After just hearing that a side-by-side went on its side, we got some scary hills up ahead. I mean, they're all pretty steep. Oh God.
What he's describing is the obstacle and the footage we're gonna go over.
Right.
So
the footage that you saw, if you watched my video, then that footage. And here I am staring at this wall, seeing a 4Runner drive up.
And only seen the ass end of it.
Not like it was easy.
It's like,
and so
look at the roof of the 4Runner.
Hey, so before we continue, I want you guys to watch the entire full clip of what we're analyzing. I'm gonna show it twice in regular speed and then once in slow-mo.
So everyone, the purpose of this video is going to be an analysis on what went wrong, what could have been done better, and is it even possible for my vehicle to make it up? Well, first of all, let me explain my vehicle. Okay, so I drive a 2019 Honda Passport. A lot of people don't know that, it's probably one of the more capable all-wheel drive vehicles. And Nori, you're the expert. How do you feel about my all-wheel drive?
Yeah, I mean, if you were in anything else but your built, I mean, it's built Passport, we wouldn't be going to Moab. It just, we couldn't do it. Even if you said you wanted to go, I'd be like, nah, let's go somewhere else, right? And then we'll leave you behind and we'll run the trail.
I feel that my Honda is not that built. Because to me, built means that you have like the Icon Stage 10 suspension. You have some kind of coilover lift.
Dude, it is really built. I mean, when's the last time you went out there and saw a Passport that looked like yours?
I hardly even see Passports.
Let's start there.
Other than the fact that, there's 3 of them out there.
Of the 3,
I don't even know another Passport.
Okay.
So, I mean, probably like the best thing, if you were like Star Pro, 4-wheel drive, like rock crawling, Johnson Valley kind of guys, what they would do is they would just let off the gas and they would just roll backwards. Most of the guys are in manuals.
Right.
They'll put in the clutch and they'll just roll backwards because, I mean, it's the safest way. You're not going sideways at that point.
Right.
But what makes it difficult to do that is A, you're in an automatic vehicle, and B, if you're not really used to doing that kind of rock crawling where you're failing all the time to make the climb and how to go backwards, you're just going to hit the brake. That's for the most part, that's what you're going to do.
I did throw the brake though. I did not lock up my brake. And I think you could see that because what's the plate again? Are my wheels rolling? Because we could tell if I locked up or not. Okay, so right here.
Spin, spin, spin.
Okay.
Rear spinning, front spin. That's where the front front spinning.
Yeah, I'm losing. So if I locked in my brakes,
There's
then they wouldn't roll.
Yeah.
So you see,
Yeah.
I'm rolling. See, I'm rolling backwards. My wheels are.
And then it's locked.
yeah. So from here's locked, but your rears are.
Yeah, so you can see that rear tire, it still moves. So that means that it was not at full
It's
lock.
not full lock.
I didn't panic and completely lock up the brakes.
And then, you know, once you start actually getting rearward momentum, I mean, it's really going to be hard to stop
Nothing you
it.
can do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you could have just stepped on the brakes right at that point where the vehicle is no longer moving forward and it's not moving backwards, and you stop right there, and then you might have been able to back down. But again, you know, it happens so quickly that
Yeah.
there's really nothing you can do.
And this is coming
You're just
from.
kind of along for the ride.
And by the way, just going to remind the audience that this guy has a lot of experience. How much rock crawling experience have?
I've been wheeling since the early '90s.
Okay. And
So it's been a while.
Like real wheeling. And
Yeah.
why'd you stop?
It got too expensive. Every time you go out and you go rock crawling, you break stuff.
Okay.
It gets expensive.
Yeah, because off-roading is a sport.
It absolutely a very
Okay,
expensive sport.
okay.
So yeah, I mean, even from the get-go, from the bottom, off the sandy portion, your front is spinning
Right.
and the rear.
And the front spinning because I have reached maximum droop on my front passenger tire. And that's kind of creating a rotation to the right. And it's also off camber. It's off camber.
The reason that you're out of droop on the front is, remember, there's a little bit of
Yep.
a ledge going up, right?
Mhm.
So when you're actually going that at a little bit of a faster speed and you hit that ledge, it pops the front end up a little bit, which unloads your
Yeah.
suspension on the front,
Right.
which makes it light, and all the power is now going to the side that doesn't have
Right.
traction, which is that one corner.
Right, and so between the right and left front, I mean, the system is supposed to appropriate 30% to the front, okay, but all of that is on because front's open diff. So all of that, let's say it is 30, just to humor it, all of it is getting released just on the right side. On the
You can also tell the driver's side's slipping and spinning as well, just not to the
Not as
extent
much,
as the
yeah.
passenger side.
Right.
But because both sides are spinning, it's spitting you out to the low side of the camber, which is to your right.
Did you see that?
So you can see right there that
So it's trying to appropriate power.
Yeah, it's actually.
and you see right there as I'm sliding down. So look right here, I go a little bit to the driver to compensate. I realize it's
Right
not
there,
working.
right there.
And then watch
Over there.
this. So as I'm going down, everything happens slow motion. Look, I go passenger.
Yeah, you moved
See,
past.
I move passenger. And I try to correct it, but I ended up sliding.
Okay, what could have been done better?
So before we get into that, I would like to tell you about what I think, because I'm not the super experienced guy here. I have 5 years experience, but 3 of them were on fire roads, and then 2 of them have been on the moderate 4-wheel drive trails. So from my standpoint, I'm gonna tell you what I think, my opinion, and then we're gonna go over to Master Splinter. We're gonna go over to Master Splinter, and he's gonna tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Okay.
All right.
So if you were to do this again, this obstacle
All right.
again, what would you do?
Okay, so I know we had already talked about it, and you said you should have just crawled it. Okay. Honestly, that was so steep that I don't think my 20-to-1 crawl ratio was good enough for that. It was just a wall. I remember that vividly because of the experience I had and how I nearly rolled over. Like, I just remember it just being a wall. You know, it was
So-
scary.
What
And-
TSI did you run?
18.
Yeah,
18.
So
That's a big thing, too.
really low.
Yeah.
You don't want to go lower than that. So how we would hit this trail or any obstacle like this is we go as slow as possible, as fast as necessary, which means you don't want to start off with using momentum. So you want to try to crawl it as far as you can go to find out where you get stuck.
I should have
And
done
then
that.
you
Yeah.
roll backwards and you start again. Either you need to rethink your line, or then you decide, hey, you know what, maybe I'll give it a little bit more speed, and you try it again. And if it's not enough, you back down and you try it again with a little bit more speed. So you work your way up to where you can actually
Yeah,
get past the
you're right.
obstacle,
Oh, jeez.
instead of saying, you know what, I'm just gonna go.
Mhm.
Which that works in some scenarios. Like if you're in sand, soft sand, or if you're in mud or something, you know what? When in doubt, power it out. I mean, you saw how slow I climbed it, right?
Yeah.
Because there's actually a lot of grip there, but once you lose the grip,
because you're going too fast.
right? Once you lose that grip, you're not getting it back.
And one thing I
It's
know,
too steep.
one thing I know, and one thing I explained to Alan is the way it works. So what happens is your torque is strong down like at lower RPMs, and then as you drive faster, what happens
Horsepower
is
takes over.
your horsepower, because you have more RPMs, horsepower equals work. So as your RPMs increase, your horsepower goes up, but your torque goes down. And so as I'm spinning my tires, I have less torque, and there's more spinning. And that's a recipe for disaster, right?
Yeah, once you start spinning, that means you've lost traction. Once you've lost traction on a steep hill like this, then I mean there's really not a whole lot you can.
You can't even brake. Like even if you hit your brake, like you're sliding.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened here. Is
And especially if you start gaining momentum going backwards down the hill, you're definitely not going to stop.
Yeah.
So as slow as possible, fast as necessary.
Yeah, that's a Land Rover saying, right? It's a Land Rover saying. That's what they say. That's.
I'm sure that's not where it came from, but. And then if there wasn't that like hump in the middle, you could probably take it with momentum. If it was nice and smooth all the way up and over, you can probably take it with momentum and be fine.
Now looking over at the left side, Nori, do you think I could have sent it up left?
Well, the problem with the left side is, see all the sand that's built up on the left, sand and mud?
Okay.
If you have half of your tires in the sandy, slippery part and half of it on the rock that actually has, some semblance of grip,
overspin on the left, and
then you'll yaw in a different direction.
You'll yaw driver.
Right.
And it looks like there's also some undulations right there too, a little, some ruts like kind of going up. You see the crack? If you see a crack there, like on camera, it doesn't look like it, but I'm sure there's a reason why I didn't go left. I mean, if it looked like left was the way to go, I probably would have went that way to begin with.
So the last question was, is it even possible?
With my vehicle's capabilities, and we kind of already went into that.
Maybe.
Like we kind of went into that, so it's not like one of those like for sures. I think, and from what I get from Nori is that we should have tried. Like slowly, like try a little bit, because this is a scary obstacle, and you shouldn't just send it.
Go right. Yeah.
So that was a big lesson for me. Is this right here?
Okay.
No more of this.
So just to clarify, if you were to just send it, what would happen? What would happen?
Well, it would have been worse if the same thing happened when he was actually closer to the top, right?
Yeah.
So if he was almost to the top and he slid down like that, look how much more space he's got. Look how much that little ledge now
if that became a grip,
actually becomes even steeper if he was sideways at that ledge.
I would have been really effed.
So at that point, I would have said 90%, 95% you would have rolled.
I agree because I would have dipped down. You
would have got more momentum going backwards.
It would have been
and then with the momentum of you going backwards faster and then turning sideways, nah, you'd have rolled.
Yeah.
So if you were to send it up with speed and you hit that bump, you're for sure just going to be spinning. Just higher, right?
It's off
you make it higher up the hill.
Yeah.
Before you did the same thing, which makes it even more catastrophic.
I see.
And it's off camber. Like the thing is, it curves over to the passenger side.
So that's why on stuff like this, you want to take it as slow as you can to see what the vehicle's capabilities are, or where does it get stuck on the obstacle? What does the vehicle need to do to get past that part of the obstacle? And then you would start again. So you don't just want to, like, on your first attempt, just say, you know what, I mean, dude, I'll hit it at 20. It's just not a good idea.
Heart's been pounding this whole time. But we have to get out of this place.
We really have to climb it?
So we gotta climb it. Let's see.
Only way out.
I took the left sandy side and sort of just went. Vehicle capability, baby. Anyway, a big shout out and thank you to my good friend JONDZ for joining us today on this analysis. And almost rolling, so we have content for the tube. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and join the Borderline family. Be sure to be subscribed to JONDZ Adventuring as well. We're regularly uploading full episodes about our adventures.
God damn it, Moab. God damn it. Oh my gosh.
Also, I believe you'll enjoy the full episode of where this incident came from. See you there.